Greetings again. For dinner tonight I had meat. Beef, specifically, and a pretty decent cut, too. On a scale from rare to burnt, it was on the underdone side. Almost bloody, I would say, the way God intended. But anyway, the steak was good and so was the bread, and even the salad was better than it usually is. The only thing, or things, that were missing was a glass of whiskey in my hand and a cigar in my mouth. And I guess a top hat. But all things considered, it was a fine gentleman's meal. And, since you weren't able to join me for a gentleman's conversation while dining, I figure I'd bring the conversation to you. So, think of this commentary as a nightcap, I guess. Commentary being the operative word, as it usually is. Because I'm shifting away from the gameplay once again, and I'm gonna rant some more. This time the topic is anti-intellectualism. In case you don't know what that is, an anti-intellectual is, generally speaking, someone who opposes intellect in favor of emotion and traditional values, more or less. So, while the intellectual usually has an interest in higher education, literature, art, and stuff like that, the anti-intellectual would classify those pursuits as elitist bullshit, maybe, and would rather associate with the common man. If you live in the US, you'll know what I'm talking about, since that shit is basically everywhere. We're on the decline big time in education, and mild to moderate retardation has already begun to infiltrate our politics and our news networks. The kicker for me, though, is how it's so fucking abundant on YouTube. And I'm not just referring to stupidity. We all know how stupid the comment sections are on videos. But in case you're out of the loop, and this is really just me trolling back a troll, here's an example from the bastion of intelligence, Kid Brute, who left the following comment on a video of mine.
Gameplay is shit. I don't care if getting kills or getting raped shit, and you whine like a biatch, fail try hard.
We can all agree that Kid Brute is a dumb child who is no doubt ignored by his mother and is probably beaten by his father. Ultimately, though, that's just poor trolling from a stupid boy. The anti-intellectualism that I'm referring to, and which kind of sparked the whole idea for this commentary, spawned from a Woody's Gamertag video that was released yesterday. Looking it up now, it's called Easy Way Lengthen Term Paper. The article 2 is actually absent from the title, go fucking figure. But yeah, the video is basically a how-to in artificially making a paper longer. While he does spend the first third of the vid actually giving tips and how to genuinely add length to an essay, i.e. using sources to supplement your argument, the majority is bullshit techniques that any decent teacher should pick up on. Like, he suggests making punctuation marks a font size bigger, which anybody can spot a fucking mile away, and changing the typeface to some obscure shit like Lucidia, which is another obvious giveaway to any teacher without a head up his or her ass. Normally that's an outright failure, since most instructors only accept 12-point font times New Roman, double-spaced, 1-inch margins, etc. They're supposed to be uniform, so the teachers can quickly tell which kids are the fuck-ups just at a glance. Either way, despite Woody largely being the quote-unquote father figure of the gaming scene, I can't fault him entirely for giving thousands of kids shitty advice, because they have to follow it, And that's where the anti-intellectualism comes into play, because the movie has 2,000 some odd comments, and 80% of them are adulating Woody for this pro tip, so to speak, as if it's valuable advice. So I'm wondering if the stereotype that gamers are lazy and stupid actually has some truth behind it. If people put the same amount of fucking effort into important shit like homework and papers, and studying as they did and trying to get around such things, they'd be a whole lot more wise. And what's the end game here? Like, why even put out a video that promotes academic cheating, you know? It's pretty fucking shameful. And if it's just like a cash grab because he knows who his audience is, that's even worse. Anyway, looks like this shit is over already. I could go on and I might do at a later date, but in the meantime, this has been Bear, future educator of America's children, unfortunately. Go out and read a book, or an article or something, or else you might sound like Kid Brute.